It's been a great pleasure for Linda and I to be here since we arrived Monday night. As John has said, we've been so warmly welcomed, and every activity or event we've attended to has gone so smoothly, but more than that, each of them, every one of them represented the strength and the nature and the warmth of the relationship between our two countries, its peoples, its institutions. Our presence here has only been possible due to the enormous efforts by the Fijian Government to prepare for and combat COVID-19. Since I became Governor General in July 19, this is my 5th trip overseas, which would be a record for minimums, I think, for a Governor General. And since the pandemic hit Australia in March 2020, this is only my 2nd visit to a country. I've wanted to get out to the Pacific from day one, given the importance of that relationship to Australia and to the many countries there, particularly in this case Fiji, but I've been stalled. So we are now well and truly off the mark and on our way. Could I begin by the evidence, the real-life evidence of the nature of this relationship? We mentioned the Bulla force that came to help Australia in the 2019-20 fires. For those members here tonight, a heartfelt thank you for what you did. I have visited the communities you worked in Eastern Victoria and Gippsland, and my heart was greatly warmed when talking to communities whose area, whose region had been absolutely devastated, burnt to a cinder. People have lost homes. To have a force there that not only worked hard and professionally, but at the end of each day would gather down on the oval in Omeo with the kids from the school, play games, sing songs, brought a real joy to a community that desperately needed it. So thank you. You changed lives in a difficult time, and a greatest appreciation to you. Similarly, more recent times, again with the floods in southeast Queensland and northern New South Wales, the Northern Rivers area. If you thought the 2019-20 bushfires were bad in Australia, I can tell you the floods have been worse, particularly in the Richmond Valley. And again, to have Fijian forces arrive there to assist in Operation Flood Assist was a great boon to our communities. In addition to that, again, I've told this story a number of times, but I think it's worth repeating. There were 40 Fijians working under the Pacific Australia Labour Mobility Plan in Casino, which is a country town near the Northern Rivers area. The 40 of them said when the flood hit, the day the flood hit, we are part of this community, so we better help. 20 went off to help rescue people from aged care facilities. 20 went out in the dark at night to rescue people from flooded homes. We don't ask them to do that. They thought it was their responsibility. We were privileged to meet half a dozen of them a few days after the event. That is my wife's want. She had them singing fairly quickly. But they were very humble. And they sang, we said, what's a special song for you in circumstances like this? And they sang, we will overcome, or we have overcome, after one of your famous cyclones. And again, that was a very moving occasion. So I know we can talk about how Governor Generals visit, we can talk about how Prime Ministers and Ministers visit, institutions link, and we build solid connections. But the truth is in what happens between the people. And again, we talk about people-to-people links, often perhaps in a way that says, yes, we're doing it, it's education and so forth, not that I devalue that. But in both circumstances, when Australians come here in uniform and not, and same with Fijians to our country in times of need, that tells a story, a profound story. Now, having visited the National Disaster Management Organisation this afternoon and talked about the need for preparedness and so forth, we all cross our fingers and pray, whatever is your want, that we don't have to do it again. But we do know, and you should know, that if it happens again, we are there for each other. And that's a very important thing to realise. So thank you for that. But I also acknowledge the hard work that has been done by many in this room in relation to combating the scourge of the pandemic over the last 2 years. We know the difficulties it has caused for Fiji, in particular, the damage to the economy. Indeed, we were coming here in July 2020 to attend a wedding. The wedding went ahead on in Australia, but we never got to Fiji, which was annoying. And I know the hit you have taken to your economy, and like Australia, now trying to turn the corner to get back on our feet again and face the world as we have traditionally. But thank you again for everyone in this room who might be a part of, did, or represents an organisation that works solidly together to overcome the pandemic. We're not out of the woods yet, of course, but I think both countries, economically and with their outlook on the world, are heading in the right trajectory. There are so many areas that we could talk about in which we work together, from defence, the economy, going out to CPAC this afternoon, national disasters. The list is long, but the longer the list, the more it says about the nature of the relationship. So we will head off to the President's Island tomorrow. He tells me it's the most beautiful part of Fiji. I'm not going to take that. I'm not going to ask anyone about that. It's a dangerous argument to get into. But we look forward to that, going to visit a school, helping to open a new school, classrooms there, and seeing, I hope, in the joy of those children, the future of this relationship. If that's the case, and I know it will be, then Linda and I will go home with much lightened hearts and have very, very fond memories of this visit. And we'll be back. Again, I've got a few ex-presidents and current presidents tell me where I need to go to, but I'll make a list and work it out. But it has been such a joy. So I thank you for the warmth of the reception. I thank you for the role that our two countries can play in this region, where we clearly demonstrate that the countries of this region are more than capable of handling the issues that face us. Be it natural, be it national security, be it other issues. We are well equipped to do that. We've practiced it many times. Indeed, we've had to work it many times. So on that note, thank you. I look forward to meeting you tonight and with Linda, and giving perhaps face-to-face thank you for what you've done for the relationship. But I just say, God bless Fiji, and Banaka, Banaka David. Thank you.